Okay, what's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. It's been a while since I did a video, so we're gonna jump right in. Today we are going to be discussing a deployment methodology that I've learned about recently since studying AWS, and a lot of you may already be familiar with this term, but this is pretty new to me since I was used to working with on-premise um, data centers. So the term today, as you can see here, is blue-green deployments. And if we take a look here at the AWS white papers, we can just go here and see that it just says that the blue-green deployment allows you to release applications by shifting traffic between two identical environments that are running different versions of the application. So this would basically be if, for instance, you had a let's say some web app running, and then you added some new features to it, and you want to create a new release. So you create the same environment, same identical environment, but you have the traffic pointed to two different endpoints. And then once you're ready to point the traffic to the new version, so let's say you have a version A and a version B. So version A was your current production, and then version B would be your newly deployed application. So in that instance, you can use this deployment strategy to effectively route traffic to whatever version A or version B. So the abstract just says blue green deployments can mitigate common risks associated with deploying software such as downtime, rollback capability, blah 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 blah. So if you want to read up more on that, you can definitely look at the AWS white papers to learn more about that. And then there was a pretty cool illustration that they have here on the white paper also. So you can see based off the illustration, you have basically two different deployments. You have obviously the blue and the green, and then so the breakdown here is you got your users. They connect to the Route 53 endpoint, and then based off how your testing is going or your release, you can either point them to the blue, which is version 1 or version A in our case, and then on the other end, you can point them to version 2. So this would be you're basically routing the traffic to whichever version. So typically in a deployment like this, you would have maybe some testers, or once you release version 2, you probably wouldn't want to just turn this on to the public, and you can have it, have it be tested. Once all your tests are satisfied and they meet your standard of approval, then you can shift all of the traffic to version 2 or version B and still have them going to the same production database. So that's kind of what this is illustrating for us. And then based off of that, if you run into any problems, you can just reroute the traffic because you have the same, basically the same identical environment in both areas here. Whereas with a typical rollout, at least in my experience, you would have to and this is just an on-premise. So we have the company that I work for. We have a CI/CD pipeline, and when we deploy something new, it goes to the existing hardware. It's not really segregated like this. So if, for instance, I rolled out a new version of my application in the on-premise environment, and I discovered something was foul or not working as expected, I can't reroute the traffic in this case. Uh, Typically, now there's ways around that. Obviously, you can use a load balancer to reroute traffic, and that's kind of what the Route 53 is serving as in this particular instance. But typically, you would uh, deploy your application to your CI, your staging, and then your production environment. You could have some other environments within that, but generally you would just go from once it's been in staging, it's been approved, QA been approved, then you push it out to production. But you still can run into an issue once you get it out to production. Let's say you didn't run your DAC pack properly, or you missed some keys on your database, or just numerous things could happen because you're really going from one environment to the other. So this type of deployment strategy kind of mitigates those risks, and you don't have to do an actual rollback. Whereas in the case that I mentioned, you would have to basically roll your existing deployment back, and then redeploy the previous version that worked on that same hardware. But with the blue green, you just reroute the traffic to a different endpoint. So, and then it goes on to give you some benefits of the blue green deployment. Like I said here, traditional deployments with in place upgrades make it difficult to validate your new application. Obviously, you can go ahead and read this. But then the other thing I wanted to highlight here was AWS lists a several services that that adopt this blue green deployment strategy. So you have Route 53, ELB, auto scaling, Elastic Beanstalk, Cloud Formation, just several of them. And then go on here to see your implementation techniques. But I just wanted to do a quick video on this. I thought this was pretty cool. Like I said, as I'm learning AWS, I'm just sharing the information for maybe someone else that comes along and finds this beneficial. But this is something I'm really looking forward to implementing in my own AWS environment at my organization. So if this video was in any way beneficial to you and you like more of it, drop a comment below and I'll keep them coming. Thank you for watching.